What is going on, guys and gals? Brooklyn Bound the Raid Scientist here with another Destiny 2 raid video. Today, we're going to go over one of easily the most frustrating and difficult triumphs from the Vow of the Disciple raid, On My Go. If you find this video helpful, please help this aspiring content creator out by clicking the like button and dropping a comment to get us visible to a larger community. Thanks. On My Go is done during the acquisition encounter of the Vow of the Disciple raid. I'm going to go ahead and assume you already know how to do the base mechanics of this raid. If you don't know them, click on my full guide in the description to learn how. Essentially, the concept on paper is pretty simple. You cannot kill the shielded Abated Adherents, the orange bar shieldy guys, until they have started damaging the obelisk. Remember, they spawn in pairs in the same spot near each of the 3 obelisks, and once dead, they respawn within about 15 seconds. They will continuously respawn throughout the whole encounter each time you dispatch them. Due to a handful of reasons though, this triumph can prove pretty hard and frustrating to finish. Remember that when they spawn, they'll head over to the obelisk and start shooting it. You can physically see them shooting if you pay attention. As they damage it, it'll fill up the white mechanic faster. There is also a tooltip pop up on screen that says the obelisk has sustained damage. However, there is no way to differentiate which of the 3 obelisks this tooltip is coming from. You need to let them spawn in, head over to their obelisk, and physically see them shoot it before you can kill them. Now, the first tip I have is to understand that they have a very large aggro radius, it seems, and a fairly long de-aggro timer too. Meaning a lot of times they'll spawn in and start shooting you and won't un-aggro off of you unless you break line of sight for them for long enough. If this happens, do your best to run away, hide behind cover, and emote to watch them. I'm not kidding when sometimes it can take 10, 15 seconds or even longer for them to get off you. Also, sometimes after they de-aggro off you, they'll turn to the obelisk and look up at it, but they won't start shooting, and they'll kind of glitch out and teleport back. Stay patient and only dispatch them after you've seen each one start shooting the obelisk independently, because you don't get a failure notice if you don't do this correctly. I highly recommend treating each one of them individually even though they spawn in a pair. If you see one shoot but not the other, do not kill the one that hasn't shot. I couldn't find any confirmation on Reddit or online which of these actually works, but this is the way we did it. The second tip I have is that there's no rush to kill them. You could essentially leave them up the entire encounter, with one caveat being you have to kill them before the final obelisk symbols are shot so they don't despawn from finishing the encounter. Remember that each time you kill a glyph keeper, the obelisk resets, so if you're fast enough, you don't actually necessarily have to even kill the adherents immediately. You can use stasis turrets and freezing them to minimize the amount of damage they do to the obelisks. If they are still up after the 3rd glyph keeper dies, they'll stand around while you input symbols. Just ignore them. Input your symbols and move on to the next round. Once it resets, they'll eventually go back to start shooting it again. Now, as I said just a minute ago, it is very, very, very important that on the 3rd and final round, that you kill them before the final set of symbols is shot. Because if they despawn instead of being killed, it won't count. The timing on this can be tricky, because if you kill the 3rd glyph keeper on the last round, they will stop shooting the obelisk. So if you've killed that 3rd glyph keeper on the last round, but the adherents just spawned, or they haven't shot the obelisk yet, they'll just stand there and you'll be kind of screwed. So on the final round, once you've killed the 2nd glyph keeper, you need to start paying close attention and backing off your adherents to be sure that they've all damaged the obelisk. That way, once the 3rd glyph keeper dies, you can take out the adherents quickly and then input your symbols to finish. Thirdly, avoid using firefly, dragonfly, explosive payload weapons, or even things like wave frame, grenade launchers, and rockets, because you can accidentally take one out before it's ready to be killed. It should go without saying, but I have seen it happen multiple times. Since this triumph can be finicky, and you don't get a notification if you fail until after you're done, I recommend actually having one person hold the checkpoint for acquisition, so if you do not get it, you can reload and try again. Keep plugging away at it, and you should eventually knock it out. Best of luck in getting this done, Guardians, and until next time, thanks for watching.